Noah Tichy here with Gearspace. You might also know me from my work with Producer Hive. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to Kali Audio's Project Watts WS-6.2 Studio Subwoofer. I'll walk you through how to use this compact but powerful subwoofer and share some of the design features that make it somewhat unique and especially well suited to its purpose. But first, what is a subwoofer and why might you want to include one in your mixing setup? Essentially, studio monitors are meant to be full range speakers, but full range is sort of a misnomer here as they don't usually do a very good job of reproducing pitch at the lower end of the frequency spectrum. If you're mixing music or audio that is only ever going to be heard through earbuds, then a single pair of full range speakers will do the job just fine. Really, in that case, you'd be fine using a pair of earbuds to mix, since that'll get you the closest to the end result your listener will hear. However, typical human hearing can pick up frequencies as low as 20 hertz. So if there's any chance your audience is going to hear your mix on speakers that can reproduce frequencies that low, probably you want to hear it there first. So that's the cautionary reason. The other reason is you probably want to treat yourself to all the ear candy at that lower end of the frequency spectrum. But anyway, you probably don't need me to convince you that you need a subwoofer. Now for a little background on Kali Audio. The company was formed in California in early 2018. They only make speakers and related products, so they're specialized. They focus on research and development in the engineering of speakers so that they can put out high-performing products at a variety of price points. Kali names all of its products after places in California, so the Watts in Project Watts is something of a double entendre. It refers both to the power in these subwoofers and to the neighborhood in Los Angeles that is associated with the history of West Coast hip-hop. So let's start with price point. The WS-6.2 is one of the less expensive subwoofers on the market, coming in at just $499 at the time of filming. It is also about half the size of similarly performing subwoofers. With its horizontally opposed 6.5-inch woofers, it has the same radiating area as a 10-inch woofer and a low frequency response of 27 Hz. Yet the WS-6.2 comes in at 11.5 inches tall, 12.2 inches wide, and 11 inches deep, and is about 31 pounds. It feels solid, it sounds solid, but it doesn't take up a whole lot of footprint under my desk, which is kind of the main idea. With 120 dB max SPL, the WS-6.2 provides more than enough sound for my room. But if you need even more, there is always the option of adding another WS-6.2 or trading up for the WS-12, which is a 12-inch woofer. As a bonus, the fact that the woofers are horizontally opposed means that the unit won't start vibrating or scooting around if you really crank up the volume. You get reference level audio out of the WS-6.2 if you listen from anywhere within 4 meters. It is perfectly suited to being part of a stereo setup with a few options for configuring inputs and outputs. Probably the best way to do it is to run left and right channels into the corresponding audio inputs in the WS-6.2 using either XLR, TRS, or RCA, and then to run the left and right outputs to your full range monitors using the XLR outs. The WS-6.2 will reproduce the low-pass audio and send the high-pass audio to the full-range monitors, but only if 80 Hz is selected via the crossover selector. The WS-6.2 has one notable use case for which I have not used it, but I think it's pretty cool, which is in reproducing low-frequency effects as part of a multi-channel setup. In order to do this, you just select LFE using the crossover selector in the back. The last option on the crossover selector switch, external, is used with signals that have already been low-passed. When external is selected, the WS-6.2 will play whatever signal it gets, assuming it has been filtered externally. So you'll want to make sure that you only select this option if you have a low-pass filter engaged. Depending on your room size and shape and where the subwoofer is located relative to your full range monitors, you may find the subwoofer sums better with the other speakers with one polarity as opposed to the other. The easiest way to tell is just to try it both ways and go with the one that sounds fuller to you, as that likely means there is less phase cancellation at that polarity. As far as room setup goes, the standard formula is to create an equilateral triangle with your full range monitors at 2 vertices and your own listening position at the 3rd vertex. Then the subwoofer goes in between the 2 monitors. In a big room, you can set up this triangle so that the side with the speakers is about 1/3 of the way into the room, and in smaller rooms, you typically end up right up against the wall. It is worth noting that the wall will reflect and thus reinforce the sound emanating from the subwoofer. So you may find you need to dial back the volume a bit on the subwoofer and, like I said a minute ago, consider the different polarity options. A couple other features include a foot switch port via which you can bypass the subwoofer with the tap of a foot on a foot switch that is sold separately, and hear your mix through your full range monitors by themselves without the sub. There's also a limiter circuit built in, which will prevent you from blowing up the speaker by playing it at unsafe levels. And that'll just about do it for this video on Kali Audio's Project Watts WS-6.2 Studio Subwoofer. In summary, I would say it is a compact studio subwoofer, but it doesn't trade power for that compactness. And its elegant design, which has become a hallmark of Kali Audio's products in its 6 years of being around, is such that you get some side benefits as a result of how well it's put together. This horizontally opposed woofer setup means that you don't have to worry about the thing scooting around when you crank the volume, which I just think is very cool. If this video has been informative or entertaining, please give it a like so that the algorithm shows us some love. And be sure to subscribe to the Gearspace Forum YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so that you know next time we put something out.